Hello, dear students. A wonderful evening to all of you. Today, I am very happy to announce that we are going to finish the series Botany and Introduction. And this is our last lecture. So, if some of you don't watch the previous episode, so you have to watch the previous episode. All of this is really very interesting to know about our story, a story of plant and different forms of the life, and how the autotroph and heterotrophs thrive on the land and flourish. Okay, so this series is really very interesting. Okay, my dear students. So this is our last lecture, and in this lecture, the topic is knowledge of botany is important for dealing with today's and tomorrow's problem. So, dear students, the life science, plant biology or phytology is very important. Very important to know the details and to study. I think all of you know the existence on the land. It is because of the plant. Okay. So what is the problem? So you can see the major problem nowadays is the human population growth. It is an expanding. Okay. So, dear students, estimated human populations is the 9 billion by 2050. So, can you imagine 9 billion population in the whole world? So there is the fresh food demand, fresh space, fresh air. The demand is also increasing, right? The next problem is, dear students, the stratospheric ozone layer has been seriously depleted because of the CFC. So you understood that the one more problem, the ozone layer. Okay, so yeah, that is very important because the ozone layer, I think all of you know, it was formed in the 450 million years ago. because of the oxygen, it finally forms what? Ozone layer. It's just like a mother protecting the uterus of the protecting the baby or embryo in the uterus, just like that. It is responsible for protecting the whole earth surface, the greenery, the habitable zone, so that the ultraviolet radiation is unable to penetrate. But because of the human activities, the CFC, and because of that type of the compound, now the ozone layer is under threat. And that is why what is happened, the student, what is the result? So the result or consequence, you can see the ultraviolet radiation, it start to penetrate. You can see it has start to penetrate on the earth's surface. And what happened? The result is the chance of the skin cancer is increasing. The chance of what? Skin cancer is increasing. So it's also a problem. Next, you can see the global warming. And it is expected that in this middle of this century, the temperature is increasing in between 1.5 degree to 4.5 degree centigrade. Imagine that. And it is because of our activities, because of the man-made activities, the CO2, N2, CFC, CH4, methane, chlorofluorocarbon, carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, that this type of the gaseous substances are releasing in the atmosphere. Okay, releasing in the atmosphere. And then what happened? They are trapping the radiations. And that is why the surface of the planet is start to hot. Start to what? Hot. And that is why the global warming, the temperature is increasing. It is also a problem. Next, you can see the loss of biodiversity. So, dear student, loss of the biodiversity is also a major problem. It is because of the over exploitations of the human being. So, the population is growing such an alarming rate. Okay, we have no proper space and the food, and the different underdeveloped countries is under malnutrition, the protein deficiency, calorie deficiency. In the developed countries there is pollutions and everywhere. So you can see, and because of that, and because of the human beings and our activities, our foolishness to fulfill our demand, our desire, what happened? The biodiversity, the different forms and varieties of the life is under threat, and not only danger, and some are endangered, some are critically endangered, some are vulnerable, and some are extinct already, like the plant species, animal species, fungal species, and the microorganisms. The huge and thousand, even million numbers of the species is already extinct. It is because of the human beings' activities. Now you can see, dear students, as science is continuously evolving, the artificial intelligence and the human mind is continuously increasing, and because of that, nowadays we apply the genetic engineering on the plant. Application of the genetic engineering on the plant, what happened? We finally produce the transgenic plant. So genetic engineering, it is a special branch, okay, in which what we alter the DNA, the deoxyribonucleic acid. I hope you know the DNA. It is very important because it is responsible for your genetic makeup, the who you are, and not only you but every species. So because in the DNA, what happened? Gene is present. That means functional segment of the DNA which code for a particular protein. Okay, right? So what happened? Nowadays we produce transgenic plant. So transgenic plant, that means what happened? We insert the gene of our interest from entirely different species, maybe from animal source, maybe from the plant source, maybe from the microorganisms. Okay, so you understood that the transgenic plant, what happened? The gene of our interest is inserted in the plant, and the plant is modified. Okay, so for example, the transgenic rice plant is produced. Transgenic rice plant is produced, and it is the high level of beta carotene. High level of what? Beta carotene. The next you can see. So as the population is growing, now we are applying different methods and strategies to fulfill our requirement. Because the food consumption also increasing, human population is increasing, the food consumption is also increasing. So can you imagine that how much amount of the food is needed to fulfill our the daily and basic requirement? So you can see the next is like the pest resistant varieties of the cotton and the maize is developed. Then you can see transgenic papaya tree is developed. And this transgenic papaya tree, what happened? It able to resist the papaya ring spot virus. The papaya ring spot virus. Next, you can see citrus plant, and this is a very interesting story about the citrus plant. What happened? Normally the citrus plant, it flowers and occurs in 6 to 20 years. In 6 to 20 years, the flowering is occurs. But what happened? By the help of the genetic engineering, we finally produce transgenic citrus plant. What we produce? Transgenic citrus plant. And the flowering, it occurs only the 6 months. So flowering and the fruit formations only the 6 months. And you can see how it is possible. Insertion of a flower initiation gene from the Arabidopsis. So it is a small flowering plant of the mustard family. So we collect a gene from the plant Arabidopsis. Okay. So the gene is basically the flowering gene. It is responsible for the flower initiation. Okay. So we insert this gene and finally we produce a transgenic citrus plant, and it flowers in 6 months. And what our future plan? You can see here the future plan, the biodegradable plastic productions and the tree with higher fiber content for the paper manufacture. So the next future plan is the plant with increased level of healthy and anti-cancer protein. So it is our future plan. Then the vaccine that can be produced by the plant. Yes, the research is also going on. So you will be amazed, like the vaccine that can be produced by the plant. Dear students, that is very important. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that just 100 years back. So let us move back to our past and only the 100 years, like when we were under the British rule, right? So during this time, what happened? There was no transportation facilities, no social media, WhatsApp, Facebook, nothing was there, even nothing. And just the 100 years after, now we can see in the era of the 21st century, my boys, you are watching my boys. So just imagine that how the world is changing. So maybe in the future it can be possible. Okay. So dear students, thank you so much. And if you are still not subscribed, please subscribe our channel and just hit the like button. Subscribe our channel. And we are officially finished the botany and introduction series. If you don't know or still not watch, then watch the previous series, lectures. I think 5, 6 or 7 lecture maximum on 7-8 minutes time. Okay, so hardly it takes 1 or 1.5 hour to finish the whole. Okay, then I am sure that it will ensure it will help you. Okay, to understand everything. Okay, and I am forward to meet with you all in the next episode. I am gonna launch soon the biomolecules. That means the chemistry of life or protoplasms. Okay, or biomolecules. It is a chapter of class 11 biology. So thank you so much for being here, visiting here. Keep loving always. Thank you.